What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be going over 10 easy steps that you can do right now to get your first wholesale deal.
I got that check on me right now, yeah. Hey, hey. Bees on a drip, please do not slip. And I don't want that jacket if it don't got slip. My diamond real VV check on my red. Try to stay on, but I do not forget. Them day when a nigga ain't have shit. Them day when a nigga work double shift. That these niggas gon' be fake when I'm on. I can't stop doing these bitches wrong. I got ice like I'm frozen. Did this shit by my V long. Revenge stones all on my soul. I'ma win, that's on my soul. She wanna come to my show.
Now, first and foremost, let me go ahead and start by saying that wholesaling real estate is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I'll go ahead and repeat that. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. So a lot of people that jump into this business feel like it's not real or it's fake because it doesn't happen as fast as they want it to happen. It takes a lot of hard work and it takes a lot of dedication and it takes a different mindset to do this business. Now, is wholesaling hard? No, not at all. It's very simple. It just takes a certain amount of work ethic to be able to accomplish. So I first want to say that because I have a lot of people that come to me, whether it's on my social media or in person, that want to get into wholesaling until I send them on a homework assignment to get 20 or 30 properties on DealMachine or write down, find the owners, and then call these people, and it's just way too much work for them. I just need to be able to go ahead and tell people now that if you're looking for something that you're going to get into that's going to make you money fast, easy, with no work at all, this may not be for you. So let me go ahead and start by saying that, okay? It's not a get rich quick scheme. So with that being said, since you're still here with me, let's go ahead and get started. One of the keys to success in this business is having an open mindset. So you're gonna have to be able to understand and learn new things that you never thought was possible before. For instance, you probably never thought it was possible to get into real estate without either $100,000 in your bank account or a credit score of over 800. So you need to have that same mindset when it comes to everything that you learn. So one of the ways to start to open up your mindset is by listening to real estate podcasts. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a real estate podcast. It could be some type of mindset podcast, just something different than what you're usually doing. So before I started wholesaling real estate, I started listening to Gary Vee's podcast. Now, his podcast helped grow my mind even more and had me thinking about things in a totally different light. So once I found wholesaling, it was much easier for me to understand and grasp that even though I was told a certain thing growing up, I need to walk into this with an open mind and try things out. So the first thing is start to find some different podcasts to listen to, maybe some people that are in real estate, some people that own businesses. Make sure you're listening to some type of positivity mindset podcast, okay? Now, the second thing that you can start to do to open up your mind is by reading different books. I understand a lot of us don't like to read and a lot of us have not read since school. So one thing that you need to start to do is do things that you haven't done before. Of course, if you want to accomplish things you never accomplished before in your life, you have to do things you've never done. Now, there's a bunch of different books that you can go out there and read. If you just don't like reading at all, you can listen to these books too. If you just download Audible, you can listen to some of these books. So books like Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone, books like The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, 50th Law by 50 Cent and Robert Greene, or The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. The third way that you can start to open your mind is by surrounding yourself with people that have open minds or people that think like you. So people that are already entrepreneurs, people that are always trying to figure out, okay, how do I grow my business? How do I grow a business? How do I start a business? People that have that mindset, you want to surround yourself around. There's a bunch of different ways. We live in a digital world, so you can find these groups on Facebook. You can join meetups. You can do all types of things in order to surround yourself with these people. So do these 3 things to open up your mind, and I promise you it's going to help you be successful in this business. Okay, so step number 1 is going to be find a deal. So the first step is just finding a deal. I know that may sound pretty easy, but trust me, the reason why I'm making this video in the first place is I have a lot of people that find me on social media or even people that run into me in person that say, hey, I want to start wholesaling. I've been watching what you're doing and I've heard about it, but I don't know where to find the buyer. I don't know where to get my contract. And my response to them is always, okay, well, have you started? What do you know about wholesaling? And it's always, no, I haven't started, or I don't know anything. You're thinking about the end goal before you even start, and you're never gonna start if you think that, because you're gonna overthink it. So find a deal first. Don't worry about anything else. Worry about finding a deal. Now, there's a few ways to find a deal. My favorite way to find a deal is by driving for dollars. Now, the thing that you're looking for when you're driving for dollars is properties that are abandoned, properties that are boarded up, tall grass. The mailbox may be filled with mail. The roof may be caved in. Whatever the case may be, you're looking for properties that clearly look like they're distressed. You go to neighborhoods that are, on the lower income side, you will find properties that are boarded up and things like that. But if you're in a neighborhood where there's not really that many boarded properties, what you're looking for is the same thing minus the boarded property. So you're looking for high grass, you're looking for packed mailboxes, you're looking for the ugliest house on that block. You're in a neighborhood where all the properties are brick, and you run into that one house that still has that wood siding. Grass is kind of tall, the mailbox is still filled. That's still a sign of distress. It's still a sign that, hey, this property here is not keeping up with everything else. You're looking for the ugliest property in that neighborhood. It can happen anywhere, okay? Now, another way to find these properties is by going to your county clerk's office. This is a way to find these properties for virtually free. Sometimes they may make you pay a little bit, and if that is the case, if you have no money, then just don't get those lists. Get the ones that are going to be free. So the ones that I'm speaking of are probate leads, tax delinquents. We're looking for pre-foreclosures. They're all going to be filed at the county clerk's office. So what you want to do is you want to go in and you want to find these departments. Most of the time, this is all information that you can get online, so you can get on their website, call them and say, hey, I'm on the website and I don't know where to go to find these certain things if you're having trouble. So these are some of the best and easiest and quickest ways to find deals. Now, the one thing that you don't want to do is go and try to find properties that are for sale. Now, I got this from one of the greats in the business. He says this all the time. He never buys anything for sale. What I mean by that is don't go out and find properties that are listed by realtors or properties that have signs in the yard that says for sale by owner. Not saying that these leads don't work. For the most part, this is going to create a higher or a different layer of difficulty for you to be able to find some type of discount into this property, because that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for deeply discounted properties so we can sell them to investors. Okay, so focus on getting those distressed properties, go driving for dollars, and go down to your county clerk's office and find deals there. Step number 2. All right, so once you get about 50 to 100 properties driving for dollars, or maybe you decided to just pull some lists from the county. My favorite is driving for dollars, but maybe you went to the county and you pull some pre-foreclosure lists. Once you do that, in order to find the owners of these properties, you want to go to your county's website and type in this information, and you'll be able to find the owner's information all free. The website that you go to is something called NetR Online. So for better, let me go ahead and show you guys what I mean.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to find these owners through NetR Online. So all you want to do is you want to type in NetR Online on Google. We have it saved here. So I'll go to NetR Online. And what you want to do is you want to go up top where it says Public Records Online. Click there. All right. So now that you clicked on Public Records Online, you will get this sort of map of the United States, and you want to click on whatever area that you're in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Texas. And now that you're here, you want to find the county. So the county I'm going to go to, let's just choose one where, I guess we'll go with Tarrant County. Let's say that's the county where this property is in that we found. We found 50 to 100 properties, remind you. And you are going here to find who are the owners of this property. Now, there are a bunch of different ways to do this. This is a free method. You can also save these sites. Once you go to them, you can actually save them as a bookmark. That way you don't have to necessarily go through NetR Online again. But what you're looking for is you're looking for a tax assessor or a tax collector. You have the appraisal district as well. You can find it there. You have the county clerk, which you're going to be able to find the probate bills, pre-foreclosure bills, and everything like that I spoke about earlier. And also we have a mapping or a GIS system. So through this mapping system, you can find owners as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through the assessor's website first, and then we'll go to the GIS. So once you click that, go to data online button, it'll bring you to a website that looks similar to this. Some website looks a little bit different, so don't get caught up if it looks too different. Just make sure that you're putting in at least a little bit of work. Like I said, this is not easy, it's not get rich quick. You're gonna have to do a little bit of work. So if it doesn't look this simple, you're gonna have to kind of navigate a little bit to find this screen where you can start to search. So right here it's giving me a search by account number option. So what you're gonna do, hit the drop down box, and you can either search by owner's name, or you can search by owner's address. Of course, we have the address, so we'll click address. We'll type in 123 Main Street. Obviously, that's not going to pop up because we actually don't have an address. So let's go by name. There's always going to be a Smith. So usually you want to type in the last name first, all uppercase, and then you will type in the first name. So let's just do John. There's destined to be a John Smith. So I'm going to click right here that I'm not a robot. And then I'm going to click go. So now that I've done that, you see there's a bunch of different John Smith. So let's say we actually had the address. We actually typed in this address here, which was 1630 El Lamar Suite 104, which isn't a good example. It looks like that is a commercial building. So let's go to this one right here. So it looks like 7213 Brady Oak Drive right here is the address. So let's say that's the address. We type that in. We got John Smith. So let's go ahead and do that. That way you guys can see exactly what it'll look like. So you want to come here again, like I say, you want to type in the address that you have. All right, so now that you got the address typed in, what you want to do is you want to go to I'm Not a Robot and hit the go button here. And there you have it. So the information pops up here. You have the legal description of the address is right here. You have the location, and these zeros before the address doesn't count. So you want to start where the number starts. So it looks like the address is 7213 Brady Oaks Drive. And here is Mr. John Smith. And here is his mailing address. So the mailing address is the exact same as the location. So all that means is he actually lives in this property. Now, you're looking for these properties that are distressed, that are in bad shape. So most of the time, this address here, the owner's address, is going to be a little bit different, okay? So it may be a different state, maybe a different city. It may just be somewhere different in general. So if it's different, that's a sign that that person doesn't live there, and that may create another step for them wanting to sell this property, okay? Now, if you go to this property and it's completely abandoned, beat up, roof is caved in, and it still says that they live there, you may be dealing with a situation where you have to deal with heirs, but I don't want to confuse you. Don't worry about it. Still go through with finding the owner of this property. So now that we found their information, who this person actually is, we want to either jot this down or put it in an Excel sheet. That way we can start to skip trace, which we're going to show you how to do in the next step, okay? So basically you want to do that with every single lead that you have. Again, it's going to be time consuming. Like I said, wholesaling is not easy. It's simple. Now, if you have a little bit of money, you can do this through services like Propstream. You can load all of these on DealMachine as well. You can just drive instead of writing it on a notepad. You can drive and take pictures of these properties. This is going to export as an Excel, and then you can upload it to a skip tracing service. It makes it way quicker, but again, these things cost. And all we're trying to do is get you to your first deal, okay? The second way you can find these homeowners is if you have a GIS system in your area as well. So the GIS system can help you find these sellers, the owner's information, as well as buyers. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this because it's going to be very important. So click on Go to Data Online. And usually if you're Googling this, if for some reason their online doesn't have it, you can go to Google and you can type in whatever that county's name is. Again, you can type in Terrence, it's in Tarrant County. You can type in Tarrant GIS, and the website is usually on Google going to say ARC GIS. That's going to be a website that is the GIS. Once you get into the GIS system, this is what it's going to look like. So what you want to do now is type in that same address into the search bar. Take out the drive, street, lane, whatever it is after the address, take it out, hit enter. and it's going to take you directly to the area. Now, I have a video specifically about the GIS system and how to find buyers, but what you want to do is you want to come over here. This is the property. Click on it, and it's going to pop up the owner's information. So you see it's the exact same. It's still John Smith. It's still his address. And scroll down. It has more information in here. And there you have it. So you have all of this extra information in the GIS system. If, let's say, you have this property under contract, you can find buyers, which we'll get to the buyers. But I just want to show you this since we're already here. If this property is under contract and you're looking for buyers, obviously you want to try to click around in this exact same area, and you're looking for the owner's name. You're looking for LLCs, because if there's LLCs in this neighborhood, then most likely they've already done their due diligence on this neighborhood, and they would probably want to buy another property in this area. So
step number 3, what we're going to be doing now is find the owner's contact information. In the last step, we found the owner's information. Now we need to find their contact information. And the way we do this is by skip tracing. So I use a few different websites in order to do this. In the very beginning, I use a website called truepeoplesearch.com. Now you get what you pay for. And since this is a free service, you're not going to always get 100% accuracy. But in the very beginning, this is what I used and it worked for me. But you're going to get a phone number, an email, and a mailing address, whether you got it from the actual skip tracing process or over on Net or online when you were searching through the county. When you get this contact information, you're either going to call these people on the phone, email them, text them, send them some mail, or even go knock on their door. Now, I know what you're saying. What do I say to these people once I get a hold of them? Now, in my course, I do provide a script that tells you everything to say step by step, scenario by scenario. But hey, since we're already here, I'm not going to make you go buy the course just to be able to tell you what you say to these people. Let's say we're calling Mr. Seller. When Mr. Seller answers, it'll go a little bit like this. Hey, Mr. Seller, how are you doing today? I'm doing fine. How are you? And the reason why I structure it that way is because you kind of catch people off guard. If you just, hey, is this James Smith? It kind of sounds like you're about to sell them something, and that gives them an opportunity to lie. So I start the phone call off like that, and then I continue with the conversation by saying, okay, well, Mr. James, I wasn't sure if I got the right, number, if I'm talking to the right person, but, I just bought a property not too far from yours over on 123 Main Street. And, I just wanted to reach out to you because I was driving around and wanted to see if you were interested in accepting an offer on your property. Don't be afraid to get on the phone and talk to these people, okay? Now, we do need to understand that everyone we talk to is not going to be willing to sell, regardless of them having a distressed property or not. They're not going to be willing to sell every single time. Whenever somebody does get on the phone and they say no, don't take it personally. Just make sure you follow up with these people once a week, 2 times a week, once every other week. Just make sure you're doing some type of follow up with them, because if not, somebody like me is going to call them and they're going to tell me no as well, but I'm going to follow up and eventually get the deal. Now, cold calling makes a lot of people nervous, and trust me, it makes me just as nervous. I come from a sports background, and on game day, I always had that game day jitter inside of me. I always felt a little nervous. Hey, what if this goes wrong? What if that? Or I just felt a little anxious. So you're gonna be a little bit nervous, but don't let that stop you, because eventually you are gonna get your yes. So step number 4. Once you get to this point, now your main focus is to analyze the deal. So you finally got a yes, and now you need to learn, okay, well, what do I offer on this property? How do I know how much it's worth? So that's what we're going to be getting into right now. In the very beginning, I used to do this after I got a yes, and I would confirm some type of meeting with this person, whether it was going to be a meeting with them or I was going to go to the property myself and give them a call back. And now I analyze these deals on the phone while they're there on the first time that we're calling. And the reason I do this is because sometimes I virtually wholesale. So I like to do my analysis while I'm on the phone with them. So to analyze these deals, you can use websites like Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, or Realtor.com. Another great way to do this is by reaching out to a realtor that already knows how to analyze properties. You just need to tell them exactly how you want them to be analyzed. Now, one of my favorite ways to analyze deals is by using Propstream because it gives me the power to analyze these deals on my own, and it has a lot of accuracy to it. So I like to analyze my deals on Propstream, but again, we're talking about the free methods. So you're probably going to want to go with one of the options like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, or even going out and getting a realtor to do it for you. Step 5. Once you start to analyze the deal, you want to start to calculate, okay, what do I make offer by using this formula right here? Now, this is just a step that's included into the previous step, but let me go ahead and show you exactly what I mean by this formula.
Once you have started to analyze this deal, you want to start to calculate how much you're going to offer on this property. So that's pretty simple. All we're going to do is use this formula right here. So we're going to be using the ARV minus 30% minus the repair cost and then minus your fee. That's going to give you your maximum allowable offer. So let's explain exactly what this means, okay? So in order to get your ARV, we're going to have to pull something called comps. So the comps are going to be the top 3 to 5 highest sold properties in that area. Now, it may vary a little bit depending on your market, but what I do is at the max, I go back a year. At the max, I go up to a mile in radius, and I want to match the bedrooms and bathrooms and, you know, the square footage of the house, the lot size. You want to match as much as possible with the property that you have under contract. So you want to take the top 3 to 5 properties by going through Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, or having your realtor pull it, or even going through Propstream. So you want to make sure that you get these parameters here in order to get your actual offer. So now that we have these top 3 to 5 properties, let's say we were able to find these 4 properties through Zillow, Propstream, Trulia, or your realtor, all of those parameters that match. You get these 4 properties, what you want to do is you want to add that up. So we're going to add all 4 of these up and divide it by 4, and that's going to give you your after repair value. I've already done the math, but let's go ahead and do it for video purposes. So let's go 150,000 plus 142,000 plus the 140,000 plus the other 140,000, right? So that's going to give us 572,000. We're going to divide that by 4, and that's going to give us our after repair value of the property. All that means is that's how much the property is worth, okay? So now that we have the first portion, the plug-in, we're going to go get to this 30%. So this 30% is the discount that investors are looking for when they're purchasing property. If you're an investor, you're going to buy anything retail. So we're going to take this 30% off of this ARV. So in order to get that 30% discount for the investor on a calculator, what you want to do is you can times this amount by 70% or by 0.7. And that should give you your new amount there. So now we have $100,100, okay? So that's how much the property would be worth at a discount. So now we have to get to the third option here, which is to take out the repair cost. We're going to go ahead and minus the $20,000 in repairs. Let's say that there's $20,000 worth of repairs on this property. We're going to subtract that from this number. So let's go ahead and take that out. I've already done the math. Let's do the 20,000. So now that property, this investor would buy this property at $80,100, okay? So it goes back to this method here. So the investor is actually using this. This is what they're using to buy their properties. Now we're wholesalers. We want to make sure we have our money. So we throw in this in order to make our offer. So now that we know that the investor will buy at this, let's say we want to make $10,000 on this deal. We put in our fee, we put in our $10,000, which is how much we want to make. So we subtract that. So we need to try to get this property for under $70,100, okay? So this is going to be our maximum allowable offer, okay? So if we offer this much, then we know we can make $10,000 if we've done everything correctly up until this point, okay? But obviously you don't want to start there. You don't want to start at the $70,000. You don't, because when you're buying something on, let's say, Craigslist or anywhere where prices aren't really set, you're not at Walmart, you're not going to buy a soda and you can negotiate with the cashier. You're buying something that's, you know, typically negotiable, all right? So you don't want to start off on 70,000 because they can say, okay, well, I really want a little bit more. Let me see what I can milk them for. There's different ways to get an actual starting offer, but let's say we're just going to subtract $5,000 to $10,000 from our maximum allowable offer. That's going to create our starting offer, okay? So let's just minus $10,000 from that. And $60,100 will be our starting offer, okay? So I think I had it over here. Okay, I did. So $60,100 is going to be our starting offer. So this is where we want to start our negotiations. Now, you may be thinking, hey, well, this property's worth $143,000. Why won't they ask for $143,000? That's why we're looking for properties that are in distress, boarded, high grass, abandoned, whatever the problem we found on these properties. That's the reason why we're not going to be paying $143,000. The investor wouldn't pay, and this is one of the reasons why the homeowner will sell for this amount, because they know what's going on with the property as well. Okay, everybody won't tell you yes, but if you use this formula and you stick to the numbers and you do this correctly, then you are going to get some offers and you're going to have enough room to make some money. So let's say you threw out that $60,000 up front. They're in a bind. They actually need to leave the state. Let's say this is a property a couple blocks away from where they live, and they just want to leave. They take the $60,000. Now you have a $20,000 spread. You could potentially make $20,000 on this property, because $80,100 minus $60,100 is $20,000. So that would be your fee. So that's how you get your actual offer on the property, by using this formula here.
Step number 6. I already know what you're thinking right now. Well, how do I get the repair costs? This is a really simple method here. I don't want people to get caught up on the repairs. So I know you're watching this video all the way through. I really don't want you to get caught up on step number 6 and you haven't started step number 1, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and explain how do we get our repair cost. So please don't overthink this. One way to get the repair cost is by getting a free consultation from a contractor. You can get on angieslist.com or homeadvisor.com, and you can start to put in the address, fill out the information, and see if anybody's offering any type of free consultation or a free quote on repairs on a property. There is another way to find repairs. You can get a repair sheet, like a checklist. You can go down the list and figure out what's wrong with the property, check it off, and it'll have some figures next to it, and you can just plug and get the actual repair cost. Now, I do provide a repair sheet in my course, but again, like I say, we're going over methods to do this now and not just the course. The third way to find repairs is by using a basic formula, similar to the last step that we had. Just use a formula. The formula that we can use to make repairs is, if the property doesn't need that much work, if it just needs a little bit of paint, some carpet, maybe replacing the floors, everything else is okay, what you want to do is you want to multiply the square feet by $10. If the property needs more work, if the roof needs to be replaced, everything else is okay, but it's old, you're gonna multiply the square footage by $15. Now, if the property is a full gut job, if everything in there needs to be replaced, you wanna multiply the square footage by 30. Now, these numbers can be a little bit different depending on what market you're in, but these are some basic numbers to be able to get you some repair costs. You can start to make your offers and get you a deal. Now remember, this isn't rocket science, and we're not looking to be 150% accurate. We just need to be in the ballpark, because really and truly, all we're doing is plugging in all this information for the investor, and we're just adding our fee on top of that so we can make some money. So if we're in the ballpark, you're okay, and you'll be able to make some money. Step 7. So now we're going to be making our offer. And this offer will most likely make you very uncomfortable because of how low it's going to be. But regardless, still make the offer. And just like I said, whenever you're cold calling and trying to find these deals, you're going to get a lot of no's to your offer. Just follow up, because everybody's not in the position to urgently sell right now. But if you follow up, anything can change. Just stay consistent with making offers, and I promise you, you'll get a deal. Step number 8, we're going to be sending out a contract. We got a yes, they accepted our offer that we made in the previous step. So now we need to get them the contract. Now we need to be worried about the contract, okay? So don't focus on step number 8 if you have not done step number 1, 2, or 3. You need to be focusing on those steps and worry about this once you get here. If you get a yes, then worry about the contract. These contracts you can get almost anywhere. You can get them in Facebook groups. You can get on Google and type them in. You can find them there. You can also click on the link down below, and I have free contracts. I have the purchase and sale contract as well as the assignment contract. When you get these contracts over to these sellers, there's a bunch of different ways that you can do this. You can send it using DocuSign, HelloSign, which gives you maybe about 2 free sends per month. You can mail it, you can fax it, you can hand deliver it. Whichever works best for you and the homeowner, that's how you're going to be getting this contract over to them. Step number 9. We're almost to the end of this, guys. Now that you've made it to step number 9, you've gotten a yes, finally got somebody under contract. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be marketing the contract. We're not marketing the house, we're marketing the contract. So a lot of people you may see on Facebook with houses that are on the marketplace and they're wholesalers. That's fine, as long as you're specifying in the details that you're assigning a contract. You're not selling a house. Find these buyers. You can post them in Facebook Marketplace. You can go through Facebook groups, real estate groups, investor groups. You want to go through these groups and you want to tell them, hey, I have a deal. You're going to find buyers in these groups and on these places. Another way to find some buyers or interested investors on these deals is by pulling buyers list. So you can pull a buyers list from ListSource, Propstream. You can even get that realtor that we spoke on earlier, if that's the option that you chose, to find buyers that have paid cash for properties within the last year. One more option that you can have is what we showed you a little bit earlier when we were going over finding owners in NetR Online. So you can go through the county GIS system and you can click around where that property is currently located and you can find the LLCs in that neighborhood and contact them as well. So the 10th and final step is getting the buyer to agree on your price. Of course, you got your price by using that formula that we got a little bit earlier. You remember the ARV minus the 30% and minus the repairs. That's typically what the investor is going to be buying this property for. So if you did everything right and you made your offer right, this is going to be a smoking hot deal. So you've already put the contract out. You've marketed the contract. The buyer liked the property. He went out to view it. He looked at your pictures that you took when you went by the property. And now you need to send them their contract. So the assignment contract, like I said before, is going to be in the link below. So you can get that assignment contract down there. You're going to send them that contract and you're going to send it the exact same way that you sent contract for the sellers. Either DocuSign, HelloSign, fax it, mail it, whatever the case may be. Most buyers are going to be more accepting of doing things through DocuSign or through HelloSign. So now that you've gotten your buyer to actually sign your assignment contract, now you have two contracts. You have the contract from the seller and you have the contract from the buyer. You're going to take both of those contracts along with the earnest money. So didn't talk about the earnest money before, and a lot of people ask about the earnest money. They get caught up in earnest money. So you take both of those contracts and the earnest money that the buyer is going to put in escrow to the title company or the attorney, depending which state you're in. So again, don't worry about you actually paying the earnest money. The buyer's going to pay that. So when you find that buyer, you make the earnest money $1,000 more than what the purchase and sale contract is, or you can make it the exact same. It just all depends on what you want to do. So now all of this is turned into the title company. You just sit back and wait for your check to come in. So now the title company takes over at this point. They're going to take over. They're going to do a title search. They're going to get all the documents ready for the buyer, all the documents ready for the seller, and they're going to get your check ready to send to you or to wire to you once the deal is actually closed. So if you follow these 10 steps, then I can almost promise you that you are going to get your deal. Main thing that you guys should take from this is follow these steps step by step. Don't come to step 10 and worry about where you're going to find buyers, how you're going to get them an assignment contract, what about the earnest money, before you've done any of the other steps. Find a deal first, get through those steps first, and then do the next, because that's how you're going to be successful in this business. If you stick to something that you haven't even gotten to, if you're sticking on step number 8 and you're only on step number 1, you haven't even changed your mindset, okay, then you're probably not going to be that successful in this business. You have to break out of that and you have to start, and you have to start doing things step by step. Don't try to skip. This isn't a shortcut. There are no shortcuts. And again, this is not a get rich quick scheme. So there you have it. So those are your 10 steps to get your first wholesale deal or your next wholesale deal. You should be able to close deals by just doing these 10 steps here. Now, if you guys are finding any value out of these videos, if you're not already, please subscribe to the video. Please hit a thumbs up and share this with everybody you can possibly think of so they can start to get some value out of this channel as well. Hopefully I was able to fill in some gaps and fill in some holes. Of course, there are more steps that go into this. There are different things that can happen. If you actually need every single step, every single gap filled in, every single thing done for you, you can go and you can purchase a course, or you can contact me and maybe we can do something on a one-on-one basis. I really appreciate it. I really want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for following me here on all of my social media accounts and also here on YouTube. So again, like I say, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Throw a like, share it, comment down below if you need anything else answered, or if you just have anything to say to me, just go ahead and comment. And until I see you guys next time. Yeah, my partner's on his way, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started at cutting some of this down. Sometimes you gotta get just a little bit dirty. Cause that one that we